Hey guys, so I wanted to kind of do a get to know me video, but I feel like I don't have enough viewers to kind of like ask you guys to give me questions, and I didn't just want to like aimlessly talk in circles, so instead I'm just gonna drop some lore, I guess, from my childhood. So they're just gonna be like 3 little stories that I think are weird or interesting. And this first one is a story that's literally perplexed me since it happened. And I want to preface this by saying I know I joke around a lot in my videos, but these stories are 100% real. Like what I'm about to tell you, I'm like, I know I lie and joke on this channel a lot. This is for real. So one time, I must have been in like 2nd grade or something, and I was walking out of the cafeteria to go to the bathroom, and this kind of like older woman was walking in at the same time that I was walking out. And as I was walking past her, she looked at me and kind of got in my face and went, "I've got another riddle for you," and then walked into the cafeteria, and I kept walking to go to the bathroom. So this is interesting for a few reasons. One, another riddle, she says. I've never seen this woman before in my life. So I don't know what other riddle she was talking about. Like, another riddle for me? You've never given me a riddle before. And second of all, she didn't even give me a riddle. She said, "I've got another riddle for you," and then laughed and walked away. Like, I've never heard... Is that like a jingle for something? If you're watching this and you recognize that as a jingle or like from a TV show, or, you know, like, oh, that's like a known like little song or whatever, please tell me, because I've never heard that before or since then. Never seen that woman before or since then. And as I'm older, I'm realizing she probably just thought I was another little girl who, like, she thought she got me confused with someone, and she was just like, oh, here she is again, let me do this little inside joke thing we had. And then I was just like, what? I just like went to the bathroom and came back, and I remember saying to my friends, "This lady just said, 'I've got another riddle for you. What does that mean?'" And they were all like, "Yeah, we don't care." And I was like, okay, whatever. But I must have been like 7 years old or something. Like, it was really weird. The next piece of lore is that I was literally a vegan like 9, 10, and 11-year-old. I don't really remember when I don't know what's even the timeline on that. I must have been in like 4th and 5th grade. So like at least 2 years I was vegan. And I feel like it was because my mom went on vacation with our friends who were vegan and made us eat like vegan the whole time, and then my mom was like, "Okay, we're doing this now." So basically all I ate for those years of school was like oatmeal and like chickpea sandwiches. So yeah, and not only that, but like me and my siblings would like lecture people about it. Like I remember there was this one other girl who our families were friends, and we were all vegan, and me and her would like tell people like, no, yeah, eating an egg is like as bad as smoking a cigarette. Like, we would tell people like, yeah, no, eggs give you cancer. Like, I don't know, like, we watched some kind of documentary too, I feel like, where that was saying like, oh yeah, like if you eat dairy, like you're gonna get cancer. Oh, meat? No, it has cancer in it. And we were like pissing off everyone in our grade. I remember one of my friends was like, "Be so for real right now, I'm not going to get cancer from eating an egg." And looking back, yeah, I mean, you're not. Eggs are good for you. But, I mean, you couldn't tell us that. Like, me and my siblings and this one other girl were like, you shouldn't eat animal products. And my sister even like gave a speech to the school about like how bad milk is for you. Anyways, this next story is honestly the defining story of like in this moment, it was set in stone who I was gonna be for the rest of my life, literally. And everything you need to know about me, you can learn from this story. So a little bit of background, my mom worked at like an arts school, so it was an elementary school, but it was like they integrated like art into everything. And so to get into the school, you had to audition, and I was trying to get in for kindergarten. And you had to like draw a picture and sing a song and like whatever. They just had you do all these little tasks. And then they had you sit down with the kindergarten teacher, and they gave you little tests to make sure like you were on track to go to kindergarten, like making sure you knew your ABCs, making sure you could count to a certain number, making sure you like knew basic like shapes and stuff. And then, I don't know if this was a test of like intelligence or just a personality test or whatever, but they had all these like shape toys on the table. And there were some that were like hard plastic and some that were like squishy foam, and then some like third material that they were made out of, I don't really remember. I want to say they were like a more flimsy plastic, but there were three, like you can tell like they got all these shape toys and they got like 3 different like brands or 3 different boxes, and then just like tossed them on the table and like scrambled them up. And they sat each of the kindergartners down, and we were alone. I was alone in the room, so it wasn't like I was being influenced by other people's actions. It was just me and the teacher, and she sat me down in front of all the shapes, and she was like, okay, I want you to categorize these shapes for me however you want. Just put them in 3 separate groups. And I kid you not, I'm not even kidding. At 5 years old, I remember my thought process at 5 years old. I remember looking at the table full of shapes and thinking to myself, okay, every other kid probably either categorized them by color or shape. So I can't do that because I have to do something different. So I can't put all the squares together. I can't put all the blue shapes and all the red shapes and all the green shapes together. I have to find another way. And what I decided is to group them by material they were made out of. Because I was like, there's no way. And 5 years old, like 5 years old, I'm literally thinking about like my self-awareness and how this other people is perceiving me and making sure I don't fit in. I feel like that's insane. Like, is that advanced or not? Or is that like totally average and I'm just like hyping myself up for no reason? But anyways, I categorized them, and obviously as a 5-year-old I didn't use the words categorization and different materials or whatever, but in my own 5-year-old way, after I put them in groups, and the teacher asked, so tell me why you made these groups, like what do they all have in common? I said, okay, well these ones are made out of hard stuff, and these ones are squishy, and these ones are like not as hard. And the teacher was like, oh, okay. And literally, I got into the school, obviously, my mom taught there, obviously I was going to get in, but I wasn't realizing that as a kid. So I was taking the audition really seriously. Years later, like literally like a few months ago, my mom tells me, oh, you know, that one time when you were auditioning for kindergarten, the teacher told me that you categorized the shapes in a way that no other kid did. And I said, yeah, Mom, that was on purpose. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, no, I literally thought to myself, I have to make it different than everyone else's. And my mom was like, you thought like that as a 5-year-old? And I was like, yes, I remember intentionally making the situation benefit me that wasn't even the first thing I thought of. The first thing I thought was, oh, by shape. And then I was like, Sydney, no. You have to stand out. You have to be different. So I think what that really tells you about me is that literally to my detriment, I will be different no matter what, even if it makes no sense. Usually it has kind of benefited me though. Like one time there was like something where it was like, oh, go to this side of the room. If you think this is the answer, go to this side of the room. And I was the only person on this side of the room. Only person. And everyone was like looking at me like, girl, you really think you're the only one right? And I was. So I'm just saying, like, me being obnoxiously contrarian helps me out sometimes. But yeah, like, I think that tells you everything you need to know about me. Like, I have a chronic need to not fit in. I am like overly analyzing situations that don't warrant it at all. And I really, really, really want people to think I'm different, which is literally just the same thing as the first one, but I just wanted to say 3 things. But yeah, that's it. That's just the lore I wanted to drop, and maybe I'll do, tell other stories, but I was just like thinking about that recently. I was like, oh, like maybe I should do a get to know me or a Q&A or something, but I was like, no, I want to tell these specific stories. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Comment down below what personality disorder you would diagnose me with after hearing that last story, and please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.